Today is a prospect show with special guest, High-A Lansing Lugnuts broadcaster Jesse Goldberg-Strassler and Stockton Ports Low-A broadcaster Tim Fitzgerald. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I am your host, Booney. One name, all passion. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since 1981. This isn't just another A's podcast. This is the most informative and insightful show on the A's, period. We cover the A's every single day, breaking down games, delivering the latest team news, and giving you deep, thoughtful analysis you will not find anywhere else. If it's happening in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, we've got you covered. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. If you are fired up about the A's packing up and rolling the dice in Las Vegas, this is your episode. We are talking about future stars, desert dreams, and the wave of talent ready to light up the strip in 2028 when the A's officially touch down in Las Vegas. And believe me, it's not just about the stadium or the skyline. It's about the next generation of studs coming through the system. We are kicking things off with a deep dive into high-A ball with the voice of the Lansing Lugnuts, Jesse Goldberg-Strassler. He's got the inside scoop on two big-time bats. Rodney Green Jr., the 2024 fourth-round pick out of Cal, already climbing the charts as the A's number 20 prospect. And the one and only Tommy Tanks White, LSU's own slugger and the A's number 7 overall prospect. Jesse breaks down what these guys bring to the table, how soon we might see them cracking the upper levels, and why the hype is 100% real. But that's just the appetizer. Later on, we're heading to Stockton, the proving ground for tomorrow's A's, where Tim Fitzgerald, the voice of the Ports, joins us to talk about the next wave of breakout stars like Tzu-Chen and Myles Naylor. These are names to know if you are already dreaming of 2028 lineups. These are the guys who could be wearing the Vegas gold and green before you know it. So buckle up. This isn't just prospect talk. This is a glimpse into the A's future, and it's looking damn bright. Let's get into it. Jesse, 4-5 start to the season, and I don't think any one baseball game could be more exciting than the one that you guys had on Sunday afternoon. What was the deal? Was it, I know it was a 0-2 count, 2 outs, down 4 runs, and bases were loaded. Rodney Green, grand slam. What was the score going into the ninth?
It was 9-3.
9-3.
And there was an RBI ground out. There was a bases loaded walk. It's the bottom part of the order, but you're going, it's 9-3. Okay, now it's 9-4. And
Right.
Great Lakes, the Dodgers affiliate, they've got their guy on the mound who throws 100.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's not locating. And I just keep on looking at the on-deck circle going, we're going to bring the tying run into the on-deck circle. Oh, wait, now the tying run in the on-deck circle is Rodney Green Jr. Oh, so he just drew a walk. Here we go. And then he fell behind the count.
Unbelievable. He's a local kid out of, I don't even know what's local anymore with regard to the A's, but out of the University of California, 2024 fourth round pick. I've seen him play a few times. He looks the part. He looks to me, he looks like a Lawrence Butler when he was young, but he's better defensively, and he looks like more explosive on the base pass. But he's gotten off to I wouldn't say a slow start. He has 4 bombs, but he struck out 16 times in 41 at bats. He's hitting 195. I know he's picked it up lately. What's your thoughts on Rodney Green? Is he as explosive as he looks? And do you think he will be the guy?
Okay, the answer to your first question is yes.
Yeah.
I want to put him into a box because Law is in the box. Law, though, when we first saw him, and he and Rodney basically the same age because Law was drafted out of high school.
Rodney's
Law's
21
bat
right now,
control-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so his bat control was always good. So you could always count on him for a couple of hits here, a couple of hits there. Rodney is still early. But the box I want to put him into has Henry Bolte. It is Colby Thomas. It is Denzel Clark.
Yeah.
It is the A's.
Yeah.
They've got these lottery tickets of these guys with great power, great speed, outfielders. And you just go, I don't know, man, but these guys are highlight reels waiting to happen every single game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you something. Is striking out right now at the high A level not really something that's an emphasis? Is it more of a thing like, hey, because baseball seemed like it's turned into such a power game, right? Throw as hard as you can, swing as hard as you can. And is that really not a concern for coaching? It always is, but maybe less of a concern over than hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
I'm going to surprise you. The Lugnuts don't strike out. And I'm going to include Rodney with this because, yes, Rodney struck out 9 times in the first 3 games. He was 0 for 12. It was hard. Fort Wayne, miserable weather. He's cut down on his strikeouts. The 16 takes you by surprise. But if I just told you the majority of them, they all came in the first couple of games. He's not striking out that much right now, and he's drawing walks. And the Lugnuts as a team, I've got the stats, 59 walks, 61 strikeouts. If we take out those early strikeouts by Rodney, they're walking more than they strike out. Tommy White has 4 more walks than strikeouts. Jared Dickey has 6 more walks than strikeouts. This is the best team in the league at drawing walks, and they're the best team in the league at not striking out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good call. What do you think Rodney Green's ceiling is? Do you think I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, MLB All-Star?
He's an all-star.
Wow.
You look at the tools and you say, all right, can this guy hit for power in the major leagues? Yeah, he could be a 20 homer a year guy.
Yeah.
Could he run? Yeah, he can run. The tool that I want to see a little bit more from him is his defense, the skies, the lights, everything right now. He's a little bit late in recognizing the baseball.
Okay.
When I see that defense developing, then we start to add more tools into the toolbox. But this is a major league impact hitter.
Yeah. Is he every day in center field right now?
For us, yes.
Let's go a little bit to probably the most touted prospect, ranked number 7 in the A's organization, Tommy Tanks, Tommy White out of LSU. His strikeouts, the big thing coming into this year was Ks. Stop the swing and misses. Stop the swing and misses. And he's done that. I mean, 4 Ks and 35 at-bats. Problem is, 4 hits and 35 at-bats, hitting only 114. Hasn't shown that power yet, right? No home runs, has a couple doubles. What's his story? I'm high on Tommy White. I had him starting at third when they get to Vegas in 2028, 2029. Is his progression going to be delayed? Is he going to be that guy? What's going on with Tommy?
It's so early.
Yeah, it is.
It's cold. I just saw his face because he spent the first couple of games full face mask like he was going skiing. It's just too cold out there.
Right.
That said, every at-bat is a battle. He's battling tough. He's worked on that pitch selectivity. He's not helping out the pitcher. We're seeing the hard line drives. And when he barrels, he's hitting the ball harder than anybody else. The hits aren't there yet. And in fact, what I'm looking at to see if he can turn around is he's getting jammed a lot. So I want to see how he protects the inside corner because he stands right on top of the plate. And he's got the Bo Bichette hitting mechanics. So the question is, he's looking to go to the opposite field. He's got great power out to right. How is he when the pitchers pound him inside?
I want to talk about a diamond in the rough. You know, when I've seen about 3 or 4 of your games, and the one guy that I noticed, but then I kind of looked, I'm like, whatever, is switch hitting catcher, I believe, right? Cole Kahn.
Yeah.
12th round pick, 2023 out of Illinois, Chicago. Seems to be just keep doing it, and keep doing it. He seems like almost like a little bit of a throwback. He's batting 500, OPS 1307. It's only on 16 at bats. It's only in 4 games. Is there anything there, or am I just kind of like, hey, little off on that one?
Here's how you know something's there.
Okay.
Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, hamstring injury, goes on the injured list, and we expect to have him back soon.
Thank you.
Who gets put into the number 3 spot on the order? It's
Cole
Cole Kaan.
Uh-huh.
It's Rodney leading off. It's Tommy batting second. And then it's Cole hitting third in front of Nate Nankill. You're going, oh, they respect his bat. But his best tool, you can't run on him. He cuts guys down on the bases.
That's right, huh?
The great Dodgers speedster, Kendall George, just cut him down.
Wow.
You can't run on him.
That good.
At the plate, draws walks, hits to all fields as a switch hitter.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I was really surprised to see him. I was impressed by him. Love him. Like I said, seems like a throwback. Seems like one of those late draft picks that seems like a steal. And I'm glad you mentioned him because the guy I am probably most impressed with in the entire A's farm system, second to Nick Kurtz, and it's only on a small sample size, is Joshua Kuroda-Grauer. He seems like the real deal at the plate and in the field. Silky smooth shortstop that just seems to do everything effortlessly. What's your feel on him? Am I overrating him a little bit? He's number 10 in the A's organization as prospects, so I'm not overrating him that much. What's the ceiling for him, and is he the real deal that I think he is?
Let me give you his top tool.
Okay.
Leader.
Yeah.
He's a leader. His heart, he is a professional. And so you get him onto a team and he raises the standard. It's so funny. The A's draft him, and my broadcast partner and I are looking at each other and we're watching his game and we're going, oh, they just really like the Jacob Wilson mold because he doesn't really walk and he doesn't strike out and he puts his bat on the ball. He collects tons of hits. He's a middle infielder. It's that same kind of Jacob Wilson style player.
Yeah, absolutely. And when's he expected back?
So it could be as soon as this week.
Wow, that's impressive. In your experience, how fast is it for a guy, let's say like Grauer, let's say he comes back and tears it up with numbers that hit the roof. What's the story? What's the timeline of him going to Midland? Or would they skip Midland and send him right to Vegas? Or is that basically the process? Or is he going to spend the whole year in Lansing?
Yeah, it's a good question. If he's tearing it up at the midseason point, I would expect a promotion for Josh up to AA Midland. Okay. We got a couple of different things working here. Number one, the A's do love to use Midland, and we see the prospects go there. This is where Nick Kurtz went last year, in fact, skipping right over Lansing. Plus, in Midland right now, your shortstops are Drew Swift, the great defender out of Arizona State, and it's Ariel Anales.
Yes.
So there's nobody necessarily blocking Josh from getting there as a priority guy if you're like, let's go. And then below us in Stockton, you've got a really fascinating shortstop named Ali Camarillo, who's tearing
he's really good. Yeah.
Great defender. So you've got prospects who you can move. So yes, if he's doing what we expect him to be doing at the midseason mark, you move JKG up, you move Ali up.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I hear you. And Camarillo is tearing it up down there. 342. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. I want to switch over to pitching because the pitcher I was really looking at coming into this year, he's young, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the first game I saw, I made sure I tuned in, was Steven Echeverria from Milburn High School, 2023 third-round pick for the A's. Had a decent first few innings when he opened up in his first start. He was tearing it up, then lost command, got hit hard, and didn't seem like his second start went well either. What's your thought on Steven? Just young. Does he have the stuff? What do you think?
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. And that the A's have been this patient with him. They draft him as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? So he's young. He needs time. And then at the age of 18, full year in Stockton. At the age of 19, here he is in Lansing. Wouldn't be surprised to see him full year in Lansing. And then he'd be 20 and ready for Double-A. The stuff is great.
It is.
He's got a mid-90s fastball. And he also has all the secondary.
At 19, yeah, wow. Yeah, Jesus.
That velocity, it's going to keep on going up. So you're
Sure.
working with a guy whose body is still maturing, who's still figuring things out up here, who's still refining the shapes of all of his pitches. And the first start first time through the order, it was great.
Yeah,
Things
right.
went
It
sideways.
was. Yeah.
Second time around, the second time through the order, that's when he struck out the best Great Lakes hitters. So already there's an adjustment, first start to second start. We are going to be seeing some gems from him later on this year.
How about Gage Jump? LSU came in with some hype. Only 2 starts, but he got knocked around a little bit. 6 innings, 10 hits. Left-hander, correct? Is he going to come around? And the other question I want to ask you in combining this, I want to combine it with a guy like Mark Ademiak from Arkansas. And the reason I want to bring them up and bring them together is that they were drafted in completely different parts of the draft, but both SEC guys, right?
Yeah.
Do you see a difference of level in a guy like Adamiak, teams looked over, he went into the 15th round, and Gage Jump, both SEC guys? Is there a level that you're seeing as far as more ready, as far as higher conferences go?
I think the higher the conference in the SEC, the atmospheres at the games are so great. And when you go on the road, it's hostile. So there's nothing that we can throw at you in the Midwest League, barring, 30-degree weather and hail and wind.
Yeah.
Besides that, and now try to figure out how to grip the baseball, you've seen it all. You've heard the fans. You know what it's like when that stadium is electric. So these guys are ready for the big moment. About Gage, I think Gage is going to be fine. And in fact, so we're going with the college style. It's a different starting pitcher for every single day of the week. So Tuesday, Jake Garland, Wednesday, Junior Tour, Thursday, Kyle Robinson, Friday, Gage Jump, Saturday, Steven Echeverria, and then Sunday, Grant Judkins. That means that this week, when Wisconsin has scheduled a Friday doubleheader in order to have Easter Sunday off, we're going to get to throw Gage Jump and Steven Echeverria at the Wisconsin squad in the same day.
Wow.
So, let's go. Let's go.
That is something to be excited about. I like Ademiak a lot, and I can see why he got overlooked, right? He's kind of a throwback. You mentioned it before we got on here. He gets outs, right? 6 innings pitched, 3 Ks, 2 hits. He hasn't walked anybody. Hey, get guys out is kind of like, it's not as important as how you get them out. And maybe that's why he slipped.
Well, it's also Mike McFerrin is the A's pitching coordinator this year. And let's combine a couple of different mentalities. Mentality number 1 is you dictate as a pitcher. You throw strike 1. You throw strike 2. You put the batter on his heels. And then you've got different pitch shapes to finish a batter off. So what do you do when you get out in front? Mark Adamiak's a ground ball pitcher. He's throwing strikes. He's getting grounders. He's getting the weak contact. Right now, he's executing exactly as we'd want. And the same thing holds true for these other pitchers, where Junior Tour in his last outing, he was striking out a lot of guys, but the pitch count was getting up, and then he just relaxed and he let the batters get themselves out. You want to get in front, and you've got the swing and miss stuff to put them away, or you miss the barrel. Multiple ways to work effectively and efficiently.
Right. Gotcha. Other question with regard to the organization as a whole. Now, high A and any type of minor league organization seems to be a revolving door. As far as the front office, as far as management, how hard is it to build culture, or is that something they're even concerned about? Is it more of a situation, hey, let's prepare you for the next level, get you as good as we can, or are they trying to really build some sort of team culture?
Oh, they care about culture.
Yeah,
I mean, Ed
that's
Sprague
awesome.
is in charge of the minors and right on down. So it's our first year with Darryl Kennedy as a manager,
Sure.
but he has spent decades managing in the minor leagues. And Ruben Escalera is our hitting coach, and this is his 30th year in the A's organization. And Cooper Goldby was in the A's organization as a catcher. He managed in the DSL, and now he's our assistant hitting coach. Dave Burba is our pitching coach, the major leaguer.
Yes, I remember Dave Burba, Giants guy.
The culture is getting set. The
Indians too.
coaches know how. They're old heads. They understand how to take care of the players and when to push. It is very much the sort of atmosphere that cultivates well. And I would laud the scouts. The scouts do such a good job at bringing in these team first guys that when we say a Tommy White or Rodney Green Jr. or Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, and we can go right on down the line, and I can say to you, there's great talent here, but there isn't the ego.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. And who do you guys got this week? Are you guys on the road?
The Brewers squad in Appleton, Wisconsin.
All right. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. What do you think? If you were to predict two guys to make it to Midland by the break, who would it be?
I mean, the fun thing is that I can think outside the box and I can go,
absolutely
why
can.
not catcher CJ Rodriguez, who is an excellent defensive receiving catcher. At the plate, he knows exactly what he's doing. He commands the count. Should they need a catcher up in Double-A, why not CJ, even though there's great competition with Cole Kahn and Nick Schwartz? And then among all of our different relievers, we've got good options. Among our different starters, we've got good options. So I always look at the guys and I go, who are the guys who are ready for Double-A in addition to the priority prospects, and say, if a Jared Dickey, the outfielder, he's off to a great start. If Midland needs an outfielder, why not a Jared Dickey or a Nate Nankill?
What's the story with Ryan Lasco?
I believe hamstring injury in spring training.
Okay. I got you. So yeah, he's I haven't seen him play. I know he was a top prospect as well. Hey, exciting time for the Lugnuts, man. I enjoy watching the games. A lot of excitement out there, and I don't think it got much better than yesterday's game.
I wouldn't mind a 6-0 win. That's good too. But if you want to give me 12-11 and 12 with a game tying grand slam, sure, let's go.
2 outs. Oh, 2 counts. Absolutely. Awesome, man. Jesse, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up, and there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. With Prize Picks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you are in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Today, I like Lawrence Butler going over 1.5 hits plus RBIs plus runs. He had 3 hits on Sunday, and I believe he is just starting to heat up. And for your second pick, I love Jeffrey Springs to go over strikeouts. Look for a big outing out of Jeffrey Springs today. What I love is how easy it is to set your lineup in under 60 seconds. Prize Picks even runs cool promos like Taco Tuesday, where they discount player projections up to 25% for even more value. And payouts are fast, safe, and secure. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Timmy Fitz, the voice of the Stockton Ports. How are you today, sir?
Man, I'm well, Booney. How you doing?
I appreciate you asking. I'm doing okay. Decent start for the Ports. What are you guys, 5-4 right now? Is that right?
Yeah, 5-4. which compared to last year feels just so night and day. And just the way they've played, like two of the losses at the beginning of the year in Fresno were one-run losses. They lost in 11 innings in the opener, 4-3. The next night was a 2-1 loss. Then record the first combined no-hitter for the Ports since
Yes.
2019 on Sunday.
That was pretty exciting.
And yeah, finally, even the loss we had against the vaunted Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, the Dodgers single A, there was up 4-2 going into the ninth, had our first blown save. It's going to happen to everybody at some
Sure.
point.
Absolutely.
So that was a one-run loss, 5-4.
Was that Alvarado?
Yeah. Wilfred, he's 19. These games are going to happen for him. Finally lost by more than one run yesterday. Finally had a blowout loss. And
yeah, I saw that.
I felt like we had 3 or 4 of them by this time last year. So to be 9 games in, playing just a better brand of ball is a lot more fun.
It seems like it. Fitzy, tell me about the guy that, if anybody's following the Ports at all, and it doesn't take a whole lot to have this guy's numbers stand up to you. Tzu-Chen, 9 innings pitched. He's had 2 outings. He started a game, 15 strikeouts. He hasn't walked anybody. He's allowed only 2 hits. I saw him the second game. He looks filthy. Just a slider that seems to snap off the plate. I think he runs it up around 92, 93 as far as what I saw.
Yeah.
21 years old out of Taiwan. What do you got? How good is this kid? Or is it just 2 outings that are just, hey, surprised everybody?
It's kind of reassuring when you're thinking about a prospect, a guy who's in his early 20s, maybe a late teens guy, and you're like, okay, if he works on this in the offseason, I bet he could really, climb to a next level. And then when you see them that next year, you're like, oh, he did that. He worked on it. There's some guys where you're like, yeah, boy, he's still got to work on that, huh? There's some where you're like, oh, Shaw worked on this. I see. He's, and there's one thing you could do that comes with health, but also we've talked about how you can teach velocity now. You can build strength. You can improve a guy's arm speed. And that 92, 93 you're talking about with Shaw is up 2 to 3 miles per hour. It was a lot of 89 to 91 last year. And we saw as the game went on, the second game, and I talked to our old video coordinator about it even. He's like, hopefully he sustains that as the year goes on. And we saw it, kind of wane a little bit in his second appearance further into the game. But then there'd be that situation like we've talked about before, old school starters. Okay, I'm cruising at 91, 92, but I can reach back to 93, 94 with 1-2 count here, try to blow this guy away. And so he was still able to do that in the 6th inning. That was the first quality start a Stockton Ports pitcher has thrown since 2022, I believe, since Blake Beers. So that was pretty exciting to see. Just a better velo. He could always, the stuff moved well. He could hit his spots at times, but there were times last year where he was leaving the ball in a rough spot. Now to have 2 to 3 more miles per hour and you're hitting his spots and he's throwing the slider in different kinds of counts is very reassuring to see because he's an athletic player, and that's kind of the new mold. Hey, let's find a guy who's athletic. This is a guy who was, on the Taiwan national soccer team, the under 18, and that level. So he's an athlete. Let's get this athlete, and we can improve his arm speed and his mechanics, and you're starting to see it happen with him.
I don't know what's more impressive, him doing that at 21-year-old or Wei and Lin doing it at 19. Not quite as impressive numbers, but pretty darn good. I mean, 15 Ks in 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. I haven't seen him. I've just seen his numbers. Does he have similar type of stuff?
He's actually stuff-wise maybe ahead of Tzu-Chen Shaw.
Jeez,
he's 19.
He's 19.
Yeah, he's 19, left-hander. And he's around 92, 93, but he is one of those guys, the ball's back here on him. He kind of hides it really well. And when he finishes, his body, spins at the end. He has that kick that spins. So I think he makes his 92 look like 95. I think he's one of those guys that makes it, hard to see. And, you'll see that a lot with players from other countries, Asian countries, especially they're very good at that. Remember Sung Wan-Oh, a reliever, back in the day that was with the Cardinals, and he was really good at that. He could make his 92 look like 95. For Lin, this is a really intriguing prospect. He was on their Taiwan, the WBC, WSC.
Okay.
He was on the under 23 tournament there. 13 innings, did not allow a run, struck out 14 and just one walk. He was the first week of the California League. He was the pitcher of the week, striking out the side in 2
Jesus.
straight innings.
Wow.
He's actually, the funniest part of his story, man. He's been a well-known prospect in Taiwan since he was 11 years old.
Oh my God.
He pitched in both the semifinal and final games on the same day for his little league team, winning them both and throwing more than 200 pitches in the process. So the A's started watching him. They started watching him in high school. He's the third, pitcher out of Taiwan the A's have signed in the past 3 years. You had Chen Zhuang, who I think is up to Double-A now.
He's Double-A. He's had a tough start, but yeah, he's up there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw him have tough starts before and then finish really well. Tzu-Chen Shaw, we talked about. Now you got Lin. Lin got the biggest bonus. He got 1.35 mil.
He did. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
And so he's the guy with the most, electric stuff out of it. You saw it play out with the strikeouts, and we saw him really mature within a game. There was an inning. I really like our pitching coach now with the Ports. I really like Jim Gott, and a former big leaguer himself. Yeah, exactly. And he, the couple guys got on. There was a misplay behind him. Mound visit, boom, 1-6-3 double play. Lin gets a play, turns a double play ball himself. And he's 6'3", like he's a bigger fella. So he's the most intriguing one. I'm really curious to see more of him again this coming week because he has been pretty lights out so far through 2 appearances. You credit the A's for mining some gold in this Taiwan market. They're the most active there, it seems like.
Speaking of which, quick question for you. As far as the A's just picked up or signed Shatari Mori, right? Yeah. Where's he playing at right now? Where is the level before Low-A as far as the Ports are at?
You're in the Arizona Complex League. The Complex League is kind of what replaced Rookie Ball, the Rookie Ball levels. You're there at the Complex, and it's an academy type setup. You're there to learn. It's extended. It's finishing school. A friend of mine who is actually a coach in the Diamondback system. He was at Visalia. Now he's in Reno. He was at the Complex League before, coaching and managing there even. And it's like, if you want to really learn baseball, if you're a teenager, you're brand new, and you come to learn the fundamentals, you got to be at the Complex League. And that's where he is now. They'll begin games in May there.
Okay.
Really see competition against the rest of the West. Like they'll be taking on the Angels and Diamondbacks. And, it's basically the teams that play their spring training in Arizona are over there, and the teams that are in the Complex Leagues in Florida. So that Duke Grapefruit League, they're over there. So it breaks up that way. So they'll be taking on the same, all the Western teams that the A's would play in spring training eventually once that gets ramped up. So he'll probably get about a month, a few weeks there to really see what he's got, evaluate him. It's a good chance he spends the whole season there at 18, not quite 19 yet. But he's got.
Have you heard any word on him?
He's got that hype around him. Like people,
he does.
People are kind of raving some. I'm anxious to see him, but I also don't want to rush the kid.
Yeah, I want to move on, but I can't without talking about Jefferson Jean either, because he's right in that same class as the other two.
I got two more guys I want to talk about. In fact,
Jean too.
And Nathan Detmer. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Jefferson Jean. Same thing. 8 innings pitched, 12 Ks, 2 walks, 3 hits. He hasn't allowed a run. Throws hard as far as what I've seen from the Dominican. Just it looks like he has that presence. He's 6'3", 170. He's only 20 years old.
He exemplifies the most what I was talking about. A guy worked on something in the offseason. He's the most shining example of it all. Him needing to mature, that just comes with, going from 19 to 20 now. He's kind of at least last year when I would interact with him, even in Spanish, like he's sort of a fun, jovial, makes a lot of jokes, funny voices kind of guy. Like he was that guy. And I felt like the A's didn't want to kill that side, didn't want to kill his personality, but did want him to take things more seriously, did want him to be a little more mature. And boy, from media day on, I was like, okay, I see he's carrying himself a little differently, and he's really carried himself differently on the mound. Controlling his emotions out there, when he does walk somebody, if he were to hit somebody or a hit gets through, just kind of dirt off his shoulders a little bit more now. Knows he's got, if somebody's on, he could just let the sinker ride. He doesn't have to pinpoint, throw the most perfect pitch ever. Okay, I'm just going to keep this down. I'm going to let the sinker kind of run in down. And I bet I got myself a double play ball to get out of this mess. Wow. And he's really trusted that. He has shown he's had the biggest jump of maturity mentally going from 19 to 20 of anybody on this team, and maybe that I've seen in my time at this level. Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned him, because I forgot about him until you mentioned him. 2022 fifth round pick, Texas A&M, Nathan Detmer. It looks like, 15 Ks in 9 innings. He's walked 4, 1 earned run. He looks as advertised as well. Does he have that kind of SEC swagger? Is there a level differences? Can you see something where somebody, hey, I came from the SEC versus I'm coming from Portland type of deal?
You do. You notice it. You see that jump in D2 to D1 guys. There's that demarcation line, because you get a little bit of both at this level. And you can see, certainly in the stuff, what
he's
you
a
get
big boy.
from, and he's huge. Yeah, he's a big fella at 6'4 plus, and in the 240-ish range. And he's also played on major college stages. He's been in the College World Series. He beat Notre Dame in 7 innings of ball in a college World Series game. He's been a Savannah Banana. Like I didn't
know that. I did not know that.
He's been on the Coastal Plains League, actual summer collegiate Savannah Banana team. I think he was on the last team before they broke off to have 2 teams, the summer collegiate and the show team, the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball sort of team. But he had, because it was right before that, it was when they were starting to experiment with that. So he's like, I really learned how to, when you're between the lines on the field, how to focus on baseball. But then when that part's over, how to interact with the fans, how to dance on the dugout, how to sign autographs and do that stuff, how to be a professional ball player. Strangely, while at summer collegiate ball for the Savannah Bananas, he kind of learned about the entertainment aspect of it, along with, playing on a big stage. He's a guy that's like, extended spring, College World Series, it's still baseball.
Gotcha.
And I just got to make sure I go out there and I execute. He is someone that, you saw a lot of guys adapt and learn the sweeper. He is one. He is one that added a sweeper. He's one that ditched his high 70s sort of standard curve for a mid 80s now sweep. And kind of like Shaw's slider, he can throw it on any count. And that's a big deal for, a guy at this level. I feel like, he's not going to last real long here. I feel like his promotion is coming. Being that he was a college guy, like somebody like Shaw and Lynn, they're gonna let them build up some innings. Jefferson Jean, build them up a little bit here. Get a full month or two's worth to see what we got. At least get to May and be like, okay, now let's see what we got. Nathan Detmer, he was just announced as the California Pitcher of the Week earlier today for this past week. So that's 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. The first 2 weeks of the season, the ports come out with the Pitcher of the Week. It is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks. Detmer, he's a power sinker guy. So he's part new school with the sweeper, but he's old school in that he's going to throw a lot of sinkers and have a 50+% ground ball rate. He always did that at Texas A&M. But yet you saw the big strikeout numbers. It proves you can do that, even 92 to 93 on a sinker, even if he can throw a 96-mile-per-hour four-seamer when he wants, mixed in there with his changeup too. So he's got the 4-pitch mix, the 2 versions of a fastball with the sweeper and an off-speed, with a change. He looks like he has the pedigree. His dad and mom were both athletes. Even his stepdad pitched at Texas A&M too. So he was an Aggie. He's been on big stages. He's a big fellow with good stuff. Yeah. He is the one, when you're talking about a 5th rounder, he's the one that maybe has could have the most immediate impact. Lynn might have the highest ceiling, but Detmer, the pedigree shows, the SEC pedigree shows, he just struck out 11 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. That was his professional high, but it also tied his collegiate high, striking out 11 Auburn hitters before, right? In April of 23. Yeah. So he's taken on tough competition. He's one of my favorite interviews. So he has the mental capabilities for this job too. The only thing that slowed him down was bone spurs last year, kept him to 9 2/3. That's it. If he's healthy last year, he's probably already at least in High-A, flirting with Double-A already.
I want to get to the position players here and talk about the only guy right now on the Ports roster who's on the top 30 prospect list for the A's. He's gotten off to a slow start. He is young, 19 years old. Myles Naylor, ranked number 24. 2 hits, 22 at bats. He struck out 9 times. Obviously, hard to get that type of make any type of judgment on such a small sample size. Sure. What's Naylor like? What kind of player is he? What's his upside? Is he a speedster? Sure. Is he a little bit of everything?
It is power. He's got the Naylor power.
Okay.
That is real. It's there.
Yeah.
When he connects. The trick is cutting down the strikeouts. That's a trick for him. He has good plate discipline. Good plate discipline, strangely, at the same time. Like he hit 192 with the Ports last year, but had a 321 on base percentage. That's a huge jump. That is a big jump. Yeah. Along with the 11 home runs last year. That did lead the club. And he's shown flashes of it. His July last year was really good. Like in July last year, we're talking, I want to say 20-ish games, July last year. Exactly 20 games, 286, a 370 on base, a 486 slug. There are these moments when he does lock in, when he taps into it. I'm seeing these moments for him. It is about, I don't want to sound like a couple of grumpy old men here, but it is about avoiding the 3 true outcomes with him as his only set of outcomes. Like when we had the no-hitter Sunday, he scores, he's involved in the only 2 runs we scored. Okay. Like he pokes a ball into left, didn't try to launch it, didn't aim for the highest exit velo that he could get. He just pokes it into left, and it ends up a solid single. He comes around to score. Another ball, he does drive out to left, goes off the left fielder's glove, produces the second run. He had a game here this week in the homestand where, just puts the bat head on the ball, drops the bat head, and lines the ball off the third baseman's glove. Wasn't his hardest hit ball by any means, 70-something miles per hour, I think, off the bat, maybe 80. But yet, lands for a base hit, he scores a run. I think once he gets that balance, like we've talked about balancing as fans or an analyst, old school, new school, once he inserts that into his game a little more of, okay, I don't need to sell out to hit this ball 104 off my bat, especially if it's a slider away, because he'll get a little too cognizant of the slider away, and then a fastball on the inside, down the middle even, will get him. So the strikeout rate, that's really all it's about for him. It's better swing decisions and what type of swing to put on what type of pitch. And again, this is a guy who won't turn 20 until a week from now, a couple days from now, something like that.
He's a young kid.
So you're trying to be patient with that. Tomorrow is his 20th birthday. So you're trying to be patient with that. He's a guy that the A's, paid over slot at 39th overall so that he wouldn't go to Texas Tech. So the skill level is there. You're also trying to figure out what position is best for him. He's trying to play third right now. He's been at short. He was okay at second. He's kind of got the body for third, but needs to work on the throwing mechanics. Maybe he's a corner outfielder. He's a slugger, still trying to balance out getting more consistent contact and finding his position defensively. You got time with a 19, about to turn 20-year-old, but at the same time, there are things for him to fix for sure.
The other kid I'm really impressed with on the Ports, and when the A's drafted him, I took a real close look at him just because SEC player, 12th round, Ali Camarillo from Texas A&M, 342, 916. I mean, he was just drafted this last year, 21 years old. He seems to be tearing it up. 2 questions with regard to Camarillo. Obviously, he's having a hell of a year, and Lansing has a hell of a shortstop right now in Grauer. Yeah. Do you see Grauer getting sent up to Midway, and Camarillo taking his spot in Lansing? And first,
it's possible.
What's your thoughts on Camarillo?
Let's start with as far as any potential moves. Health will affect that. Kuroda Grauer was recently placed on the 7-day IL.
What?
I don't think it's anything long term for him. It might just be a little leg thing. Yeah, it's sometimes the minor league ones don't always get put out, but that's he should be back from that here soon.
Okay.
He's a guy we've compared him. We've talked about it before, like a future Luis Arise,
Is that
maybe,
right?
but faster. Uh,
He struck out 12 times. Though.
maybe he's better off at second base because
Okay.
Camarillo looks like an actual shortstop. So it could be those two paired together. I could see that happening. Camarillo earns a promotion there because Camarillo looks like a real shortstop. He's pretty smooth out there, really slick. You feel like he could play it. His defense could play it at higher levels right now. You want to see what he could do offensively, but he starts the season with a 6-game hit streak. He's got a dinger already. He's got multiple doubles. He really looks apart. I feel like
he does.
He might be. It's him and Detmer. Ironically, a couple of former Aggies, a couple of A&M guys.
Yeah, right.
That are maybe the quickest to be promoted from the ports this season. They would be the quickest ones, especially because you're talking about college guys. That's one of the trade-offs of the minor league shrinking and, trying to accelerate some of these guys. Like, okay, well, we're going to start promoting guys quicker. That's going to be the trade-off. That's especially the case for the college guys. And that's good to see. I think that makes them, you're seeing more of them get picked. It makes the path to college a little more appealing. Like, okay, if I go to college and I get drafted out of my junior year, I might be at AAA at worst just a couple years later. You're seeing it with Nick Kurtz, clearly an elite talent. But Camarillo kind of fits that mold. This is a guy that, a Chula Vista, California guy.
Yeah.
Starts off at Northridge, starts off at CSUN.
Okay.
Then goes up to A&M for his final year and didn't miss a beat. That was kind of reassuring. Like, okay, let's see how he moves up. Oh, completely same story, just as successful there. So you realize he can move up and handle that sort of change there too, going up from a mid-major up to a Power 4, in A&M, dealing with that sort of talent and competition. He really looks the part. I could see him even moving up if Kuroda Grauer's still at Lansing and they pair them together, and that'd be a pretty slick combo. That is, I think A's fans, that's something that you could project. You could be like, man, could you imagine these two in the same middle infield together? If Wilson and Muncy aren't around down the road, like if they got traded or moved on to free agency, these two would be a heck of a backup plan. And Camarillo, both of them, Kuroda Grauer, good head on their shoulders. They're also that type that I have enjoyed being around, saying hello to. Camarillo, he was in the Little League World Series representing, Southern California, and his dad was the manager, was the head coach. So he's got that baseball lifer in him, and you can see how he works and just the way he plays. He is a pretty exciting prospect. Him and Detmer, the two A&M guys, are, probably the next. I would peg them as the first two to go up.
Timmy, so for people that don't know, how likely or unlikely, I think when people think, hey, they're tearing it up at single A, low A, and they're ready for triple A, how common is it for somebody from the ports, let's say get promoted from the ports, skipping high A, going directly to Midland or to Vegas? Is that common, uncommon, or is it usually they go through a certain process?
Not common, but it happens. You do get some guys that get a little cup of coffee in a fill-in mode, like AAA might be like, dang, we're short a couple of pitchers right now. We don't want to move these AA guys right now, sometimes based on their development, sometimes based on travel, like where they are in the country.
Right.
If Vegas is at home, they're like, okay, let's just bring up a couple of Stockton guys, fill in while we're shorthanded at the moment. If they do well in that time, then it's possible they stick, or at worst, it's like, okay, then let's send you to AA instead of high A. If they get that cup of coffee 2 levels up and look good, then their permanent spot might at least be skipping 1 level. But really, your guys who make that big of a jump are the Nick Kurtzes.
Yeah.
Are the really top prospects. You have to be just absolutely crushing it because the demarcation line is AA.
Okay.
That's like, okay, you're in years past and still now with the complex league, like we talked about, rookie ball, low A, high A. If you're at AA, that's when, if you get to AA, you are clearly someone the big club visions as a potential player for them. Low-A rookie ball, still kind of tryout mode, to be honest
Sure.
with you. Let's see.
Sure.
Okay, well, you're down there. Maybe you're a prospect. Or are you actually on our radar? When you get to AA, then the organization is thinking things about you of maybe you are fit for the big club. AA is where the fill-in, there's a lot less fill-in guys. There's a lot less just depth guys. You are most likely a prospect there. And that's where the demarcation line is as to, once you get to AA, what you do there is a much bigger signal for whether or not you could be a major leaguer.
Got it. Last player I want to cover with you, and I've seen him a couple times, and if I don't catch your games, I definitely watch the box scores, and this guy's box score stood out to me, which is a Cameron Leary, 10th round pick this last year out of BC. He has 7 stolen bases. I think he had like 4 in one game, I want to say.
3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 in one game. He had 2 home runs in one game. He struck out 13 times.
Yeah.
Is he a threat on the base paths, or was that one of those things where, hey, just read the pitcher and got it done, or is he looking to take off? I believe I want to say he bats in the middle of the lineup, like somewhere 4th, I believe. Oh,
yeah, he's the 3rd or 4th guy in the lineup. He's 3 spot or cleanup.
Yeah.
But he's a guy at Boston College. His career line, a 247 average, but a 403 on base and a 510 slug. So 43 home runs and 41 stolen bases in his career, a 40-40 career. It's pretty good. He played center at Boston College. He projects more of a corner, right field, left field guy as he climbs up levels professionally. But it's not A to B plus speed like you'd want in center field, but it's B minus to C plus speed. He really can steal bases. He is a guy, if he does cut down the strikeouts, that's the trick for him, making more contact. He bunted for a base hit. Not the dumbest guy. Like when you talk to him, you're like, oh, I bet this guy had really good grades.
Yeah, right.
When you talk to him, you're like, oh, I bet this guy had really good grades at Boston College. Like when you talk to him, you're like, okay, yeah, he was probably pretty smart. So he's got a patient approach, and 53 walks to 60 strikeouts in 53 games as a senior. So I think in a little time, he will close the strikeout to walk gap. He is, 10th rounder. Sure. People might think, 10th round. 10th round is, it's kind of right there. And we're talking about a 12th rounder in Camarillo that we're thinking like, oh man, he's going to shoot right up the ladder. That doesn't always matter. Sometimes that's about, other guys that play outfield that are above you in the draft. Some of that shakes out that way. First round talent, sure. Once you clear those first couple rounds, first 3 rounds, 4th round on, it's kind of a mix. So I think he's maybe could end up a little bit of a steal for the A's if he continues to show better plate discipline, cut down the strikeouts. Right now, it's something that gets a lot of people. High heat, low changeup. That can get young hitters, can get you off balance if a guy's got a good combo of that.
Sure.
I think once he gets deals with pitchers who can do that, go high fastball on them, and then you start to get locked in on that fastball, and then it ends up being a changeup at the bottom, and then you start to think about that changeup at the bottom, and they blow the high heat by you. Once he does a better job of sort of tracking those in, he could take off. He's definitely got the skill level for it. He might, maybe his big league career is backup outfielder.
Okay.
But nonetheless, if
good clubhouse guy.
If he closes the walk to strikeout gap, you just never know, because I've seen him obliterate some baseballs and run. If you've got speed and power, teams will work with some of the other things and see if they can improve some of your other skills in order to tap into the speed and power.
100%. Who do you got this week, Timmy?
We are headed to Visalia.
Okay, Bakersfield. We're on the way. Not quite in Bakersfield. Yeah,
Visalia was my least favorite destination in the California League. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. The people are lovely. The people are super friendly. The people are lovely. The people are super friendly. They were very nice to me. The facility is one of the oldest in all of the minor leagues. Valley Strong Ballpark, 7th oldest minor league stadium in operation in the country.
Is that right?
So that is the oldest one. From my vantage point. It actually looks pretty quaint. It's kind of a cute, fun place to go to a game to as a fan.
Okay.
I feel like, because in fact, they do pretty well attendance wise. And maybe that's a product of, being a little town and that's the thing to go to. But, 2,700 permanent seats outside of the lawn seats, but they average just under 1,900 fans.
Okay.
That's in the top 20. Or pardon me, that was in the top half of the California League and ahead of 21 other minor league teams. So
Pretty good,
even
yeah.
for as small as they are, it's a good crowd. They're into it. And it's the Diamondback system, which is pretty good.
How are they? How are they doing so far this year?
I think, let's see, they're pretty decent. Rawhide. This is an older set of notes here. If we go to the standings here so far, Visalia, Rawhide, they're 3-6 to start. Okay, so we'll see what they look like. I just got their roster today. We're gonna check them out. But it's the worst press box in the league is the problem. Even everybody tried to warn me. People who used to broadcast there, Jill Guerin, Vinny Longo, Dave Fleming. They all tried to warn me about it. And it was worse than I thought. So there's that. But nonetheless, people are lovely. It is a cute, sort of quaint, old school ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, Visalia isn't that where Crash breaks the home run record in both?
That's Crash. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so,
Crash Davis, opposite field.
Boom. There it is. Yeah. So, it has its minor league baseball lore to it. They get into it. That part's fun. But for most of the week, I'm going to be broadcasting outside. I'm not going to be in that little press box. So it's very much a throwback sort of feel. Timmy,
hey, exciting team, man. I mean, I really enjoy watching you guys play. The pitchers, those 4 pitchers have absolutely impressed. A lot of exciting things happening with the Ports right now. Thank you,
it's
sir.
a good brand of baseball to see. I know people love the long ball. What was the old commercial? Chicks dig the long ball.
Yeah.
But I think people find it very aesthetically pleasing when you pitch well, you play clean defense, you got some close games. It's exciting at the end. That's what people like coming to see, and that's been the vibe so far.
That's what the Ports have been doing. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts.